everybody. And it always feels like that intro is so high energy, and then I show up like,
Hi.
hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Old Reader, New Reader. I have a new guest here, but a longtime watcher, Max.
Right.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, Max, I've seen you in the chat for years, and I'm very excited when you're like, "Hey, want to do the show together?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, you can come on, absolutely." And we've been chatting, and I've had a great time, both chatting like this and online. Thank you, James.
Yes.
Tell us about your YouTube and stuff, or tell us about your comic book origin. You know.
Was hit with comic book radiation, and then I grew comic books in my back. I started reading comics in during the lockdown because I needed some escapism from all the horribleness. And then I stumbled into the Near Mint Condition channel, and then said some kooky things in chats. Like I said things like, "Why is he called Ghost Rider if he never writes ghosts?" And then Omar was like, "You should get on the show," and then I did. Um, and then my own YouTube channel and my Instagram and stuff, it's like nothing to do with comics. It's just me playing guitar. So
I think that's awesome. We gotta get you here sometime. I go to you and I talked about video games a little bit. I go to a video game / music convention every year that I think you would really like.
Cool.
It's called MagFest. MAG Fest. And it's it's music and video games completely. So there's like music constantly, live music. There's people like jamming together in spaces.
Cool.
One year, which is exciting for me, there was a video game bluegrass band. So I'm from Kentucky, so I love bluegrass, a lot of banjos and mandolins. So I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted.
That is rad.
It's awesome.
See, they're saying my mic is low, so let me see if I can make it less low.
We'll see. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm screaming, so maybe it seems low if I'm yelling.
Is this any better or different? Or?
You sound good to me, so I don't. Depends on what chat says. The other day I sounded low.
Tell me.
Yeah, tell us, chat. Hi, Chris Brogan. So when we were talking about you coming on, I said I would choose, which I was nervous about. I'm always worried that I won't choose anything cool, but you mentioned you liked Upgrade Soul. And so I thought, well, that's the best book I could recommend to you. So I only downhill, but I thought we'd read his other book, Bottom Feeders. I think he now has some other books out, but for a long time it was just Upgrade Soul in this book, Bottom Feeders. So I thought maybe this would be a fun read. I'm excited that people in the chat know about it. Makes me happy. It's a very oddly sized graphic novel.
Always fun for the shelf to have one sticking out.
Yeah, it's a good conversation starter. I have one shelf that's just like the weirdly shaped hardcovers. That's the genre. Yeah. Can you get her out? Let me apologize about the cat first. Sorry, my husband's right here, and he said, "Hey, if the cat starts meowing, you better apologize to everybody for it," because he makes fun of me because I always apologize. You want to show her first? Okay.
Aww.
Literally never heard of this before y'all mentioned it for over. Oh, good. Yay. So for chat, this book. It's not unlike Infidel, but like less horrific and more colorful. So we have this woman. Her name is Darla, which I've written down. And she has moved into a new apartment complex, where, like, in the area where her family was born, her parents were born. So it's in Chicago. It's in like a more rundown area of town that they refer to as bottom yards. But creepy things start to happen in the apartment complex, and themes of gentrification and racism abound. So I guess we can jump in as far as what were your first thoughts when I recommended this to you? Because it's not like the art's very different. Ben Passmore's art is very like eclectic and
Well,
not the typical comic book, I guess, that I'd recommend.
right. Well, when you first recommended it, I thought you were just like mashing buttons because there were no vowels. So I was just like, well, okay, she'll send me the proper title in a second. Um, but then apparently that's just how you spell it. Um, and then I intentionally didn't look anything up about the book because I wanted to go in blind.
Yeah.
Which was a bit of a hassle to actually get to read the book, but when that was finally like resolved and I could read it, it was very interesting. Like on the surface, you can read it as a very simple plotted horror story, basically. But it's very dense with allegorical things about oppression and privilege, systemic racism and stuff. So, who better to talk about it than two white people on a stream?
Could I have planned that better? Maybe. Yeah, so I it's one of those like so for chat, it's a very colorful book, which I think is a great way to look at sort of like a horror story because it's very body horror, but it's very colorful, and so not what you would typically see for like a book with this sort of theme.
Right.
Um, we have so Darla's moved into this area, and already I like how her story is kind of complicated as well. Because yeah, her parents are from here in the Chicago neighborhood, but they've obviously left. They've made some money for themselves. She's an art school graduate who is being given an allowance by her parents to be able to live.
Mm-hmm.
So I like even when she first moves in, there's some pushback. So the people there are like, "Oh, you're a trust fund baby," or if you're just they're moving in these young hipster kids into the neighborhood, and she's like, "No, my parents are from here," and like,
Right.
yeah, but you, they're paying for all of this though, right? So there's the
Exactly. Yeah.
disconnect still, like, oh, you're just here to find your roots, and I like already just having her, even though she's, from an outsider, people would think like, oh, this makes sense. This is your community. People within the community are like, no, we don't accept you just yet.
Right. Well, I also found it because she doesn't start the book. We start the book with the handyman
Yeah,
who's talking about all kinds of conspiracies and everything, which was a really fun opening. And then he hears or he sees like some kind of liquid coming out of a vent, and then he comes in and he's covered in liquid. And I was sure it would be something like the blob or something, or
yeah,
where something you'll like touch it and you like become infected or whatever. Um, but then our protagonist enters the story, and she was intentionally written to be a pretty flawed character,
yeah,
um, which is always interesting rather than having like some kind of perfect person. Um, and when she first enters the apartment complex, she was pretty standoffish to everyone. Like
yeah.
I mean, even though it was pretty not the ideal apartment complex by any means, but you can still like be nice and say thank you. Maybe it's just how I was raised, but and then throughout the book, there were certain themes of um, privilege and also pretending to be less privileged in order to seem cool. That came back throughout. And yeah, let's try and go through it as like chronologically
Yeah.
as it happened in the thing.
So I guess we can talk about the beginning because we see her move in. Well, the beginning we see the two handymen that are there to help fix something,
Yes.
and we see yeah, like you said, one of them starting conspiracy theories. He's talking about lizard people, which, at least in the U.S., I'm assuming elsewhere, that's usually a sign that they are very racist and anti-Semitic.
Here
because it's
they're seeing the
usually
truth. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah. Seeing the truth. So already we're seeing people that are saying these crazy things. But then we're aware then that there's something happening in the building. And then we're introduced to Darla as she's moving in. She meets the landlord, who's just this guy that is, I mean, a typical shitty landlord, really. I mean, he's just like, hey, welcome in, but like keep the door closed. We don't want any crackheads coming in, and like, which, you know, fair. I don't know where they are, which neighborhood in Chicago. I used to live near there, but not, I was on the outside, so I can't claim it.
Right.
But he's obviously just trying to get new blood and new, like, younger people in the building to like raise the prices, probably.
Yeah.
And we also see 2 tenants moving out as well. So we see this older couple that have definitely, the prices have raised and they're leaving. So it's already leaving us with a different sort of feeling of the building right away. There's something weird happening, but also these 2 tenants are being kicked out. They're being priced out of living in what seems like a crappy apartment building anyways, because the lights weren't working when she got there. Like,
There's
there's
no
already some weird
connection
stuff.
for washing machines.
Yeah.
They couldn't hook up any washers, so they'll get like cable, because people in this day and age still use
We
cable.
use cable. Yeah, even when this book came out, like, no one's using that. What are you
Oh.
talking about? Which I love, because he's like, well, I'll give you a deal on cable right now. She's like, well, I'd rather have
Right.
laundry, actually,
Yeah.
but okay, sure. And even when he gives her a hard time about the door, she's like, okay, fine. He's like, keep the door closed. And she's like, okay, I'll remember that next time I move in. Like,
Yeah. That was a good quip.
that
I
was
like
funny.
that.
And we're also introduced to Cynthia, her best friend, who is, from what I can tell, although I think her skin color is different in the book, it's like about blue, but she is like a blonde white woman.
Right.
Who is her friend, who is constantly not helping. She kind of sucks for most of it.
Yeah, pretty
Like,
much. I mean, we're introduced to her as she's on the toilet, I believe.
yeah.
Yeah. Of
So,
not
yeah,
her
Darla's
apartment.
lifting this huge chair into her room. She gets there. Cynthia's just been on the toilet the whole time. The only thing she
Yeah.
has unpacked is whiskey. And then she's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm leaving to go get laid. Like, I have a date. And she's like, okay. You're going to leave me alone in this building by myself for the first night. It's already creepy. And you're just going to leave. It sounded like she had just decided. Like that
Yeah.
wasn't part of the plan. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to leave. Yeah, it sucks
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, she's not a best friend.
No.
She sucks.
It's like she just wants to be cool. Like you were saying about the acting less privileged to seem
Right.
cooler.
Yep.
So at this point we see the back and forth with them. We also see the really weird toilet scene. So already we
Yes.
know there's something weird.
Right. And the thing that stands out with the coloring throughout the book is that usually in most panels it's just one color
Yeah.
basically. And then whenever something that needs to stand out happens, they'll give it a distinctive other color. There's also this one panel where you only see her reaction, and then the reaction panel is in red, while the other ones are all like in yellow, I think,
Yeah.
which is a very like typical old school horror movie. It's like something you would see in Creepshow or something, where it's like a
Oh yeah.
dramatic reaction thing. So yeah, I appreciated that. That was one of the horror movie references that I took note of.
Yeah, I love horror films. And
Me
it's
too.
refreshing to see one that is in colors like this. In purples and yellows and like pastels. I
Yes.
think that's very fun and different. They kind of like, I think it keeps the audience or the reader surprised because you let your guard down reading
Yeah.
it. Because you're like, okay, this is just like a fun little book. It's like, wait, but there's real body horror happening in this. Nothing so explicit that I think it's hard for a reader that's more like squeamish, but it's there. just more cartoony.
Yep.
I was worried that when we got to the weird toilet stuff, you'd be like, "Why? What is she doing? Why is she making me read this?" But I already had you read Upgrade Soul, so really, you're fine, probably.
Right. And in general, I'm not really adverse to weirdness. I'm kind of surrounded by it at all times, so it's.
I could tell. See, we're getting along so well. But yeah, so then we're introduced to the couple whose names I did not write down. I feel like it's Marcus and something else, but I don't even know if it's Marcus. Charles.
Charles.
Charles
There's a
and
C in that too.
the older lady, but there's this couple. And she already welcomes them right away. And I love that they're brought up here early, but then not touched again until much later.
Yes. Much later.
So we meet them. We see that they're being priced out. She mentions that they're really sad about leaving, especially Charles. And that Charles is really evasive. He's in the corner. He's hiding in a room, basically. So we don't get like a normal vibe from him.
Right.
James,
and
you're so right. This is Monster House mixed with aliens. Sorry, go ahead.
and before that, we have the little sign in the little cabinet in the kitchen
Yeah.
where it says Chucky's house or something, right?
Yeah, Chucky's house.
Another horror movie reference. Chucky.
It's true. And she's like, oh, well, a kid must have lived here. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. It's weird. And then of course afterwards they meet. They meet Julio outside, also known as, I think, the Rap Pilgrim. At least it's the Pilgrim. So he's a big time like local rapper. He's of known. He's really cool. He's a DJ. And immediately Cynthia's like, we're gonna use this. She immediately is like, oh yeah, I live here. And Darla's like, you don't live here. And Julio is not cool with Darla yet. He immediately it's like, I know exactly what you are. I can tell right away. Which is good and bad for both of them. Right? Because I can kind of get in the way of them making community.
Right.
But is also understandable if you're like people just coming in. But yeah, so at that point we've met everybody except for the Plymouth Rock. Thank you. Sorry,
That's right.
Sorry.
But he is dressed as a pilgrim while he is doing his rappings.
So I mean, same, really.
I mean, if I went to a party and someone dressed like a pilgrim would be rapping, I would probably not remember his name, but if I would describe him as Rap Pilgrim, people would know what I was talking about.
I appreciate you defending me, even though I've embarrassed us completely during this video.
I didn't remember either.
So how do we feel about it? How do you feel about it at this point? At this point, you only get a little bit of horror, right? You've got some weird stuff. There's a weird toilet thing, and then a weird bulbous something in the old couple's apartment that we see. That she's just kind of like.
Well, the thing it's also like a very much a horror trope thing where you get hinted at some kind of monster, but you don't get to see it till way later. And so far, all we got was the handyman that crawled into the thing, said it looked like a weird duck. So that made me perk up. It's like, well, if this turns out to be some kind of psychotic Donald Duck, I'm down. I'm down for Donald Duck.
That would have been very cool.
And then we saw the Chucky thing, so it was like, okay. And I think did that thing say don't touch? Or was that
it said don't touch, yeah.
Yeah. So that made me think it might be something like the Blob or whatever. But yeah, so I'm mostly curious about the mystery that they set up at this point.
Yeah, at that point, it had been a while since I've read this. Like a few years back, I read it on Fangirls Assemble when I was on that channel. Max said, if it's Duckus Gremlins horror, I'm in.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look, there's Gizmo right there.
It makes sense. But yeah, it had been a few years, so I was like, I couldn't remember everything. It's like so in my brain, I'm like, okay, this house must be alive. The apartment must be alive. That must be what happened, which is not far off
Yeah,
completely.
very close.
So fast forward, we have their meeting with this big fashion exec because she's trying to get her fashion line picked up. And already we're met with like a lot of judgment because she caters to rich people who want vintage items, but not vintage items that are altered. And Cynthia, who is always trying to use everyone else's reputation,
Yep.
is like, well, actually, my friend lives in this cool part of Chicago, and she knows this DJ, and he can be there. You know, Plymouth Rock can be there.
Right, the person they just met.
Yeah, and she just moved in. She doesn't even have anything there. And she's already saying, like, yes, my friend can do all of these things. And you were just using all of that to get cool points, which is so shitty. And then of course we have the go ahead, please.
Well, I mean, then I think that's when the car ride back, they have the kind
Yes.
of thing, right? Because that's where the whole I think this is one of the most explicitly mentioned parts of the allegory that keeps going basically, where the Darla is talking about basically about the racism she went through, and then her friend was like, yeah, but I was like standing next to you when it was happening, so I was really embarrassed as well, which is okay. That's not really like a level playing field where you're describing there.
Yeah, it's just the epitome of like white feminism of like white lady, like, but I'm a victim too.
Right.
Please, I want to be victimized. Like, girl.
Yep.
Just so tone deaf completely. And then being upset and being like, oh, I'm so sick of everything. Like, why do I have to feel guilty for every little thing? Like, maybe because you're not a good friend. Like,
right.
It's not
I mean,
about
so
you.
far all you've done was show up, use someone else's toilet, left, and then try to get like cool points by bragging about someone else's less than stellar living situation.
Yeah, and then also like used Plymouth Rock without asking him, and then giving out his real name, which she doesn't
Right.
even know if he wanted that to be out.
Yep. That's a good point.
Which is a great lead-in because we have in the next part where, because I want to make sure we have time. Cynthia and Julio get together. They spend time. They go out into the community. So they get to know each other some more after some misunderstanding, and we get to see more of the community around the apartment building, like a local place with local people, and having those conversations of what community looks like, right? So we're not just insular in here. And of course they hook up.
Well, before they hook up, they have basically the same kind of conversation that she had with Cynthia, because Julio is basically asking her, so are you like a trust fund kid or whatever?
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, no, but I mean, also I'm living off my parents' allowance, which is very much like, okay, so you think you're part of the whole poverty group that you're currently surrounding yourself by, but you live a very privileged life by not having like financial stress that you have to take care of.
Yeah,
Which I thought was a really good way of talking about different types of privilege and different like classes and being blind to privilege you have, even though get you have to deal with like prejudice and discrimination in other fields.
Right, because she's choosing to live here when really her parents are like, we don't want you to live here. We'll gladly pay more so you don't live here, even though that's where they came from. Like, so she has a choice, and she's chosen this. When really, like, from the way Julio talks about it, he's like, I don't have a choice in this. Like, this is where I live. this is where I'm from.
Right.
And he feels like you're just playing at it.
Right. And Julio also says that he is kind of fine but with doing it because he gets it's what he can afford by doing his art, basically.
Yeah.
Though I did find it really funny when she mentions his art and she was like, "Well, you dress up like a pilgrim and you do like rap." And then he said, "It's ironic." And
Yeah.
then she asks like which part and he doesn't know. So there was very fun.
Well, it's always fun to see two artists kind of like one-upping each other. Like
Right.
who's got the different struggle here, the musician or the fashion designer, and like what's the harder one?
Exactly, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I do like the which part. It's like, well, I have to think about that. And then I like how they end it with, "Can we just agree now, for now, that the real threat is white people?" And everyone
Yeah.
cheers. You go, because they're correct. See, that's the insight we can bring, is that they're right. um, but I love this next sequence because Cynthia shows back up. She's brought a TV to be helpful to the
Right.
apartment, even though the
And
whole time she's talking to herself about how like really Darla should apologize. She's like, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry I tried to do this all, but like really, that doesn't make me a racist." And I think actually, you should apologize to me
right.
for calling me a racist. But if you need some time to come up with one, like what a shitty friend.
Right.
Um,
And the TV that she brings over is like some kind of thing from the 70s or whatever.
yeah, it's an old like with the dial, like the circle dial, like the
Yeah.
circle with her grandma. So it was not really
It's more
helpful.
like I found this on the street as someone was throwing it away, and I thought you'd
Yeah,
like more trash.
yeah. It's like my grandma liked this when she was in the home, basically. Like, okay. But I love it because she hooks it up. We see the first, like, real evidence of the building being kind of alive. It's
Yeah.
this really gross cord, like cable cord that's hairy. It's a good thing this is in like single solid colors, connecting to this TV. And she already remarks like, "Oh, it's pretty gross and hairy, but it's fine." Would not be me.
Mm-mm.
Never, never in my life. Where I'm like, "Yeah, this is fine." No. Plugs it in, and it shows basically like a video footage of Julio's bedroom while he's with Darla.
Right.
Um, and so she thinks she's coming back and tries to hide under the cabinet where we see the stuff, but actually it's a huge maze with more really gross, hairy cords. And she overhears them talking about her. Which really, don't feel bad for you. They're right. Like,
Yeah. I mean, when they had the conversation in the car, that kind of solidified to me that
yeah,
Cynthia was probably not gonna. I mean, I would assume that she wouldn't make it out alive because of like the whole trope thing where you would make a character unlikable so you wouldn't mind if they get killed off.
yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
like, well, she's probably gonna die right after the cabinet thing anyway.
oh, absolutely. And just her listening and hearing all of them say, like, well, and just all this is so funny too. The whole, like, "Will you check it out?" And he's like, "Why am I checking it out?" It's like, listen, I'm a feminist, but like, chivalry, like, check it out, which I can relate to. I may lift heavy weights, but if there's a bug in the room, it's all
Right.
over.
They're so fast. But which is also like a thing of, a commentary of like privilege and stuff, because she's like because I think she says something like chivalry and then he says, I'm a feminist, and that kind of just kills it. He just walks away.
It's just like, I'm a feminist, you can deal with it.
Yep.
But it's fun because it feels very real, like the two of them together and how they talk. Um, and then just the way, and I'm trying to highlight some of this, but we get this nice view of, I keep looking over, keep her name, Cynthia, and this like
Yeah.
control room sort of thing start to get controlled by something, and we still don't know what that thing is at this point.
Right. Just looks like a
Um,
dangling pile of guts.
which I love. It's so interesting. Although at this point we can probably start to guess some things,
Mm-hmm.
because in an earlier conversation with the couple, she mentions about how Charles's mom invented like a heart. She's able to create a heart through urine, which is odd, but like we have
That's
some
right. Yes.
some hints about some things. Uh yeah, they complain to the landlord, and the landlord's like, "Hey, please don't sue me or anything. What if I show you something really cool in the basement?" Why would
Right.
you go? If your landlord, Max, was like, "Hey, don't sue me for this shitty apartment. Just forgive me. I'll show you something really cool in the basement." Would you say
Right.
yes?
No, I would leave. But like, I mean, the fact that think I'm gonna show you something, but it's like really cool, but that isn't compensation for anything. How would what would he show me? The face of God? Like, how cool would it have to be for me to forgive? Well, basically like a fleshy, hairy wire that coming down
Yeah,
from the ceiling that when connected to a TV looks into someone else's apart. I would leave
yeah.
immediately.
And they're like, "Okay, we'll check it out. We'll go with you." And they still stay around, even though ultimately he can't open the door to show them a really cool thing. And they're like, he's like, "Oh, I gotta get the tools to fix it. But just trust me, I'll be right back. I'll take care of everything. It's really cool." They're like, "Shit, that's crazy."
I mean, I do think that's the one part of the book where I was like, I don't think I would go along with this at all. I think I would just like leave.
Which is
You know.
sleep. I mean, granted, it sounds like Julio doesn't have much more of a choice, but like Darla, you could leave. Uh
Right.
Crisis said, once I had a new landlord who I had to drop off my deposit to, and his office was in the basement of a house, but not like a finished basement, like a totally unfinished murder basement from this book.
Jesus.
That's terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I would just assume I'm getting murdered. Just immediately. But to
Still
be
going
fair,
for
I had to, I'm not going without people. But that's a privilege I have. I have people I can come with me. I
it.
hope.
Right. Your whole gang.
Yeah, like, bring Omar. Omar will be fine. He'll talk to him. Um, but yeah, we have some more moments. Everything smells really crazy. It's gross. The art person that she's trying to impress shows up. Um, really obnoxious. And immediately it's like, "Hey, this smells like bad breath. I've got to get out of here." And she starts like trying to throw up and leave. And so our poor girl Darla is like, "I guess I'm just gonna have to sleep in here." Like, and
Right.
figure it out. Um,
Is that when the handyman shows up?
so the handyman shows up right after. So she sees like the video of her best friend's phone on the TV. There's this really great creepy art here where she sees like a melted face on the phone.
Yeah.
And right after that, she's trying to call 911. She goes outside, or she goes down to the basement, and the handyman's there trying to break open the thing. She's seen him once before, and they just kind of stared at each other, and nothing happened. She called
Yeah.
911, and they're like,
That,
"We're not going to come to that neighborhood." Like,
yeah. That kind of annoyed me, honestly, with the handyman. Because at first I was like, well, is he like infected or possessed or something when he was like drenched in the
yeah,
mystery liquid? Would like that would explain like off behavior, but instead he turns out to just be like a really dedicated conspiracy nut, and he would just I think he saw her like three or two times where he would just stand in front and just not say
stare.
anything. Yeah, it's like you can communicate, you can talk. You've done so extensively about conspiracy theories. We know you can
Yeah,
do this.
I would think that's weird, but I have a brother that I don't talk about who is very much like this.
Well, same.
Thinks I'm in the CIA and has like all sorts of crazy conspiracy theories.
Oh my
And I'm
word.
like, yeah, that's him. That's
Well, our after show chat is gonna be very colorful.
Yeah, it's been a little wild lately. Haven't talked in 16 years. You know, it's pretty normal stuff. Anyways, that's a little lore drop for chat. There you go. Please don't let him ever watch. I don't think he knows I'm on YouTube. Don't tell him. But yeah, this guy is wild, but ends up being not a hero, but he does help move the story along in a way that I
Right.
guess only a crazed conspiracy theorist would, because he sees her and it's like their back and forth is funny. What also, why is she there with him? Because she still follows them in here.
I mean, he did say there was something really cool behind that like door. And it was really cool. So I mean, I'd be curious,
I heard the door is really cool, so I'll follow this crazy, shirtless, sweaty man in there. And
right?
she's like, "Are you gonna kill me?" And he's like, "Are you? No, are you a reptilian shapeshifter?" And she's like, "No, give me the mace on your belt. I've called the police." And he's like, "Okay." And then she's like, "Actually, I didn't call the police." And he's like, "Huh, you got me. Let's blow open this door."
I mean, I feel very conflicted about the handyman person because he seems very dedicated and like, like a very matter of fact kind of guy, but then he
Yeah,
turns out to be very meek.
I'm not surprised. That seems like those guys everywhere, right? Like they all talk a big game.
That's right.
They've
Yeah.
all seen Bigfoot, but they don't have the courage to stand
Right.
up to anything.
Well, then he smashes open the door, um, and then she crawls in, and I think there's one panel where you see like eyes behind her in the dark.
Hmm.
Um, and then I'm not sure if she meets the thing later or if
She
the
kind of
landlord shows up first.
she kind of runs into it a little bit. So we have like
Right.
before this, we have just a couple pages of darkness. Let me see if I can get. It's hard to do this. I mean, it's just somebody else holding it. Um, but like where you mentioned with the eyes, she sees the eyes here,
Yeah.
and then she starts to like, oh, she's like, oh, I think I found your duck thing. But then there's more kind of gruesome stuff here until we see this, what I presume is the heart or the stomach here.
Hmm.
Just very grotesque in the dark.
Right.
Um,
Oh, and then the guy shows up.
yeah. Then we see
So
the stupid landlord. He's like, "Don't hurt my mushrooms. I grow my mushrooms here, and I've been feeding
yep,
them." Like
that
that's
that that killed me.
what was your plan? Was your plan to bring them down here originally and be like, "You won't believe this, my mushrooms!" Like, and she like threatens him. She's like, "You better tell him what's going on, or I'm gonna stomp these mushrooms." Like, no, which I love. It's so good, but they killed the guy on the way.
Right. Yeah, cause then you walk out and then you see that he's like holding like a rock or something and he's like covered his hand is covered in blood and you see the conspiracy dude's face just bashed in. It's like, oh, so you really like these mushrooms.
Yeah.
And
And he does a typical landlord thing because she's like, "Hey, we have to call an ambulance." And he's like, "If somebody breaks in, I have the right to stop them. It's called stand your ground." I'm like, only a old landlord would say stuff like that. And they obviously have to fight, and then the monster attacks him, which is good. The monster should attack him.
right.
But yeah, we just get to do like the rotation of the monster doing things. The monster attacking Julio, where it kind of envelops him in a really cool, gross way. I think I can show that. Yeah, this isn't inappropriate. It's fine. But it just kind of it's very cartoony. So I think the body
Yeah,
horror,
exactly.
is digestible. But the way that it just sorts of like envelops him in his room and all these kind of like centipede looking, not saying like more like worm looking arms and like bodies.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to clearly make out what's happening, but he's just tangled up in all sorts of guts and limbs and whatnot. And then they're like, um, help, how? Hit it. And then
Get the
and then
didgeridoo.
right, yes. And he had some kind of reason for it as well. He said didgeridoo, and then
He
for
says it's ironic.
right, yes, ironic to have didgeridoo.
Very, you're a musician. Would would that be your?
I would didgeridoo. No, I
Oh,
definitely wouldn't. I
all
wouldn't
right,
have
Max.
one.
We can be friends forever because I love a didgeridoo and didgeridoo joke. I truly do.
You didgeridoo.
I didgeridoo. Puns are my favorite form of humor. I'm a very simple woman.
We're gonna get along very, very well.
Exactly. Well, already I could tell when we were messaging back and forth. I was like, Max is good people. He's my people. But yeah, she tries to poke and tries to help, and ends up all just exploding in a
Yeah,
very grotesque way. And still, I love it because like it's we have the blood, we have the guts, but everything is still pastels. It's still like okay, like approachable. So even if you're
right.
not a huge horror fan, because I'm a huge fan of the Saw movies, even though some of them like you've gone too far, you have to calm down. But this I could read and eat at the same time, and I'm okay.
I mean, with the Saw movies, the most like reprehensible thing they've done was with Spiral, the book of Saw, and where you have
Yeah,
like Chris Rock playing the younger version of himself, but just having like a baseball cap that he's wearing backwards.
yeah.
Anyway, tangent.
I did a whole PowerPoint for that on my birthday, and then my friend sent me a meme of somebody with like a Saw shirt. It just said Sawtism, and I was like, yeah, that's me. I love those movies. But I was talking about how I would fix it to make it fit into the correct ethics of Jigsaw. Just normal things you do for your
Right.
birthday. It's fine.
I mean, you can't spell autism without you and I.
Yep, here we go. You and me together. Um, and then she's gone through all of this. She's still going through the building, and she's finally found her friend Cynthia, who I argue should have just left. But hey, it's nice of her to be there for her friend, even with problems. Maddie, you rock. Thank you for my Saw PowerPoint. Everyone should do PowerPoint parties with their friends. I recommend it a lot. My friend does a really good one on the Cars universe, and because there's a Pope car and Cars, which means there must be a Pope Jesus and Pope Catholicism. Interesting. Think about it.
Right. What kind of car would Jesus have?
I don't know. Well, he'd be a car. They're all
Right, yes.
cars.
Yeah, that is true.
Just think about it. Anyways,
What would it,
so back to
okay.
this. Yeah, then we get the nice. This feels very 90s anime, which I
Oh yeah.
like. Very just like tendrils of things and her being absorbed into this very fleshy computer, basically, is what has happened.
I got distracted by James's call.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I think I've told this on the James, if I said this on the channel, but yeah, there's cars go through TSA. They have to go through, in the movie when they get on a plane, which means that Cars 911 must have happened.
Right.
But then how does that work? Because the planes are also sentient because of the movie Planes. So were there cars inside of the planes? Or was it the planes themselves? This is all very important and not related to this book.
I would very much
Um,
love to do a stream just about this, honestly.
we have to find a different channel to do it on
A
so we
start
can
one.
talk about it. Because I would. Um, more to the point, would I be right in saying that so far this book doesn't exactly have a plot? It seems like she's mostly just wandering through the apartment. Would you say she's had motivation? I think that's interesting. Like, yes, I think the driving force for her here, because ideally, she has no reason to look, like, besides finding her friend, right?
Right.
She doesn't have there's no reason for her to go through all of this. She could leave,
Pretty
you
much.
know?
I mean, what was the motivation to go there anyway? To kind of have like some sort of poor people bragging rights? I guess.
Yeah.
And then the plot just kind of happens. She's just kind of there.
Yeah, I feel like more than like you know, a driving force in plot. It's more of just like how are all of these situations metaphors or imagery for like, privilege and
Hmm.
gentrification, and like it's more about how does this all represent these different things, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. That's how I would read, and I
Yeah.
have.
And you have. But I think in a way that it's still in an interesting way. So I've definitely read some books where I'm like, oh, I don't feel like there was a point, right? But I do feel like there's enough interesting things happening here
Right.
that I'm having a
Well,
good time.
yeah, exactly. So, like I said at the start, it's like if you read it on a very superficial level, it's just a very simple horror story about some kind of grotesque monster living in an apartment complex. But basically, every scene is making a commentary on different types of privilege, and that's kind of the main point of the book. But the scene we're at now is one of the scenes that made me laugh, because Cynthia is like being taken over, or at least like used for food or whatever. I don't know. She's all tentacled up. And then
Yeah.
she says something like, I'm really calm. I should be kind of freaking out. Isn't it weird that I'm calm? That made me laugh. I thought it was really funny.
Oh yeah, and I love this because I feel like if I was in that situation, I would also make jokes at the same time, like she does, because she's like,
Right.
"This is real crazy. It's like reflexes or something. That's wild, right? Like, man, it's a terrifying situation. But it's
Right.
like the creature just saw her and her like weakness and was like, okay, let me act through her, um, in a way that we don't ever get truly explained why it is like that.
No, not really. That's yeah, it's kind of left up to the imagination of the reader or something. Because then,
Yeah.
how does she get out again? Because I forget that part.
Well, she just happens to run out of the room. So there's like a little like space, like a crawl space she gets out of. So she just leaves her there because she says, I have an idea. She's gonna figure something out. She knows to call somebody who's been here before.
Right. Yes.
So she goes and calls Marcus. Yes. Um, but even then, it's like the girl, the way that Cynthia talks is so interesting. Because even then, she's like, hey, it's not like I want to kill you, right? But everything that's happening is because of her reflexes. So
Right.
even at her like base of herself, she's not like a helpful person to her.
Well, that yeah, which tracks with her like throughout the book.
Yeah, she's like, I just didn't want you to leave me. But it's still a selfish thing.
Yes, very.
Oh, and get so many gross moments. But we finally are introduced to Marcus after we get her the backstory. So how do you feel about the backstory of this? So we get sort of the origin of this creature
Well,
from
the
when
first
Marcus is
thing
a kid.
we saw him as a kid, and then he was wearing the mask of a duck. So I was
Yeah.
finally like, there's the duck. Because throughout the book, I was like, he described it as a weird looking duck. So
Yeah.
throughout, I was like, show me the duck, show me the duck.
Yeah.
And then, then, because earlier Julio also talks about like Chucky Ducky or something,
Yeah,
or
Chucky Duck, like an old cartoon character. So we get the hints.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. And then we basically see, is that his mom that he sees?
Yeah. Oh no, it's his aunt.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So Auntie JJ. So I guess the whole family lives
Yeah,
around here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then they just kind of talk about that she that the creature lives off wastes. So
Yeah.
but that she was considering ending the creature or something. And
Yeah, because
then
she created this while she was creating that other experiment, I guess, with like the fake heart, right? The artificial
yeah,
heart. But from what I gathered, she had made this creature, and it's supposed to help this whole building, right? Almost like having a living building, where Chucky, the creature, could. I mean, you have a clean way to get rid of waste. It sounded like there's other ways. She's trying to create a living home, like a biological way to do this.
Right.
But the company that was like owned this building, because we heard about how this like a science owned building for experiments, wanted to add more things and weaponize it. And so she's like, I have to kill it, or else they're gonna keep making me change it, and they're gonna ruin the work that I did.
Right. It's also like a kind of hint very early on when she gets into the building, and then the landlord says that there are no like plugs for the washing machine, because obviously they don't have like a sewer system at all. Everything just kind of goes to the
Yeah.
the creature thing.
Wait, because they talk about the toilet being weird too. She's like, the toilet is like, she's like this, like a crazy cement like system,
right.
which I didn't even think about till just now when you mentioned the plugs.
I just connected those dots when you were recalling the scene.
But I do want to show the chat real quick, because when we see the back, or the flashback, we see Auntie JJ, she's holding Chucky, and they have this moment where Marcus is like, "Oh, it's like we're twins," because Marcus is wearing the mask, and she based him off of Chucky, the same character. So Marcus feels like this kinship with him. It has to be there when he dies, but Marcus held on to this and came back to the building to live and I guess take care of Chucky and be there, because he knew as people moved in, it seems so silly to talk about this dramatic moment, be like, as people use the toilets more, the Chucky woke up and came back to life again.
Pretty much. So Cynthia, that's like referred to as well, isn't it? That because she used the toilet when she entered the building, that the creature kind of like, I don't know, like
showed up,
imprinted on her or whatever. But also,
I guess so.
I don't know. It's like a weird version of Twilight or something.
Yeah, it reminds me of there was a horror movie I remember with some like little guys coming out of toilets. I forgot what they're called, but there was some 80s movie like that.
Ghoulies? Is that Ghoulies?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, we get this gross back and forth, but he ends up helping and saying like, we just have to use the sprinklers and drown him out. If we do that, we're able to save things. And she's able to get her friend out, although she's injured. And eventually at the end, Marcus is like, no, I care too much about this creature. I'll become one with it. And I'll take care of it and get it out of here.
Which everyone just kind of signs off on. They're just like, well, this is a massive creature that has, that has killed. Let's set it loose. Let's just let it grow.
Yeah, he's already connected. Like, he's like very Doc Ock sort of looking, because he's being like lifted up by the thing. And people in the neighborhood are like, what are you going to do? Just like walk them around the neighborhood? Like, what's your plan? And everyone's like, oh, yeah, you can just go in the sewer. That's like the perfect place. Like, oh yeah, sounds great. He's saying bye. It's like when people in the community like, good to see you. Bye. And people at Cynthia's like, I'm happy for him. Just as he's going down there. And then the new landlord takes credit for all of this and uses it as a money-making opportunity.
Yeah. Which is also like a typical thing. Where it's like, oh, that such a scumbag.
Yeah, everything you went through. And Cynthia got what she wanted, which is to have a new interesting story. People want to interview her because of what she went through. So yeah, and then we get a thing at the end where maybe the monster is still connected to Cynthia. Who knows?
Yeah, because they're in the hospital, and then Darla goes out, right?
Yeah.
And then isn't there like a shot of like the streets? Something's happening outside, and then
yeah, we get a shot of a couple of shots. One shot of the TV going odd and doing something.
Yep.
And then we get a shot of the city. So the bad smell from before. So it's probably gotten stronger, I assume, from being in the sewers. So it ends there in a nice horror cliffhanger.
So Cynthia's the only one confirmed to survive, right?
I guess so, yeah. Because
So,
Julio's dead.
oh yeah,
Um, Landlord's dead. The
the handyman
handyman's
died.
dead, but from the landlord.
Yep. And Darla is just, well, I mean, no body, no death, but she's, well,
Yeah.
gone.
So that's bottom feeders.
Right.
What do you think about it? I'm keeping you a little bit
I,
over time. I know it's late for you, so we can.
I mean, at this point, I'm up anyway.
Yeah.
Um, I thought it was cool. It was, well, I mean, I read it mostly for the commentary that was within the story rather
Yeah.
than the horror movie it was, or the horror story it was. I thought um have you ever heard the thing of like The Simpsons being an exception for a TV show because there's constantly strangling up a child?
No.
Because when you uh if you were just if Homer strangles Bart, it looks like a cartoon and it's like played off as a joke. But if you were
Yeah.
to do that in live action, it would be horrific and like complaints would get flooding in and
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah.
So because everything looks so cartoony, it really takes away the horror of of well how it would look if it was like a very realistic thing. But they still managed to make things really creepy, especially like the big centipede type of thing. I don't like bugs. I don't like
I mean,
centipedes. So I was like that's not really my. So I thought it was effective. I like the use of color. And it was a quick read. I mean, we talked about it for probably as long as I read it, or possibly
yeah.
longer.
I mean, it is such a quick read. And yeah, there's so many layers to it. Like I agree. The best part about it is the what the layers are in there. I think the horror aspect gives you a good genre through which to discuss those things. I think
Yeah,
horror is a great genre for movies and books to talk about issues like this.
right. So, I took note of some horror references
Let's go.
in the story. So the first one that stood out to me was, I mean, conspiracy people are always like a trope in horror movies, so it doesn't isn't like a specific thing. But when she was moving in with a poster of Candyman, which is also a
Oh
movie
yeah.
that has to do with um, systemic prejudice and oppression, especially the last one they did by Nia DaCosta.
Hmm.
Also did the Marvels. Big fan of her, and the new 28 years later,
Oh, which
which is
is the newest
awesome.
one was great actually.
Right. Big fan of her. So that was as soon as that hit, I was like, okay, so this is basically gonna be that kind of story, which it was. That was cool. They mentioned the island of Dr. Moreau, which I thought was fun. The monster called Chucky from Child's Play. And then it just reminded me very much of there's a movie from 1989 called Society. Have you ever seen Society?
No. Look
It's
it up.
a very gross body horror movie about social class and everything that you should definitely not
Ooh.
watch on mushrooms.
Okay. Good good advice. Good references.
That's
I
my
didn't catch a lot of those. I was thinking so one book that I recommend to read maybe at the same time for
holy
comparison
cool.
is Infidel.
I've heard about this. I haven't read it.
I really recommend it. It's by Pornsak. I never know how to pronounce his last name, but because I think it's Thai. Um, Pichashot. It's so good, but similar in the way that this Muslim woman, she's living with this family, and she's seeing a bunch of basically racist ghosts in her apartment complex. So there's like
Okay.
an evil force within the apartment complex. It has a much different style, of course, versus like Bottom Feeders, which is more like colorful and a little it's more comedic. This one takes itself more seriously, but I think
Okay.
it's great in conversation with this book. Like I think if anyone wants to do a double feature, read both of them, and you can really think about like privilege and racism and how that shows up, but also there's an apartment complex in both of them.
Right. There's also a
So
movie, I think it's a British movie. I think it's called His House. I'm not entirely
yeah,
sure. Which is
yeah.
basically this, I mean, it sounds like a very similar plot.
From what I remember, yeah, very similar. So really, you wanted a whole day of this, which probably not like an upper, um,
Right.
but great for a class. Yeah. Okay. Sean was thinking about the same thing. Infidel. Oh God, Infidel, so
Hmm.
good, so
I have to
good.
read it. I haven't read it yet.
I really recommend it. Um, I wish I wasn't. I wish I could just do the same books every October all the time, so I could just keep having new people read them. Because Infidel's a perfect October book. Um, so we talked a little bit about the art, but how'd you feel with the art overall? The
It
colors and
was,
the style.
um, I thought it was good. I mean, it was very simple. So sometimes I had a bit of, I had to go back and check if the smaller framed person was who I thought it was, because sometimes
Yeah.
like, well, I can tell it's a woman because of the length of the hair, but which one is it, right?
Right.
Um, but other than that, I liked it. I liked how they made the gross things gross, basically, with
Yeah.
still being in very cartoonish. Like the cables from the TV was like, ugh.
It felt almost like Studio Ghibli sort of level of like grossness, where just I don't know, the way guts and things moved around felt similar to me,
Hmm.
which I like it. I love horror, and I love when I can read a horror that shows it differently. Like the same reason I like Junji Ito, which is body horror, but doesn't feel like it for me.
Okay. I haven't read
Um,
a lot of Ito.
Max.
You're gonna like send me a list of stuff to read.
Yeah, I read one every year for October. You should come on.
Sure.
We can read.
I'll have
It's
1 week off in October.
well, perfect. I can even move it slightly earlier. That helps the show.
Sweet.
Um, so we should give it our rating. So I want to keep you up too late. Um, what would you rate this out of 10? I'm happy to go first.
You can
Um,
go first.
for me, I would give this a 7. I think I'm really happy with the story. I think it, if it had taken a more concrete direction, I think that could have improved it, but I'm overall very happy with it. I don't know that I'd want it to be really that much different. It's a book I've come back to. It's a book I've recommended for how unique it is. Um, and it's hard because you know, I think Ezra Clayton Daniels, I mean, unfortunately for him, had a 10 out of 10 book right before this with Upgrade Soul, which is a perfect book.
Yes.
And so it's always going to be hard to match that. But I have a really good time with this book. I think there's a lot to talk about with it. And it's one that I think I'll always have on my shelf. So for me, it's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. It's I had a good time reading it, and like I kept being interested in how it was structured like a mystery. So you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
I wonder um how the monster's gonna look like and whatnot. And after reading, I kept thinking about how certain themes came back into the
Mhm.
writing with people talking about the privilege, but also being blind to their own privilege and stuff like that. So yeah, I think 7 is fair.
But I need to check because when I was looking this up, I realized he's had some more books come out, and I feel like a bad Ezra fan. It's the way that I throw Upgrade Soul at people. If I've missed any of his books, I'm like, what have I been doing? So probably this week I'm gonna buy his new ones. Oh, good, Chris. Yes, I enjoyed his new book, Mama Came Calling. Would love to hear your thoughts if and when you get to it. More like when I get to it, Chris, because I will be reading it. Anything for Ezra?
How many does he have?
I'm not sure. I feel like we must be at 4 by now. And Mama Came Calling is another slasher horror,
Okay.
which is great. I feel like he must have one other, but I need to check. But I love him. Or maybe just these 3. But I think he's done some TV writing as well. Yeah, it looks like he's done some Doom Patrol.
I
Um,
like Doom Patrol.
he wrote a little bit for Horror Noir on Shudder, it looks like.
I haven't heard of that.
I'm not as updated with stuff on Shudder. And according to his Instagram, he's done some writing for Severance season 3, which I
Oh,
do
well,
love.
that's yet to come out, right?
Yeah, so I guess good job, Ezra. He should be on Severance. That makes sense for him.
Right.
But yeah. Well, we did it.
Wow. I'm proud of us
Um,
as a unit.
yeah, I think we did a good job today. Max, thanks for being here. This is really
Thanks for
fun.
having
I'd
me.
love to have you on again sometime. Feel
Me
bad for
too.
keeping you up so late. Chat, thank you all for being here. I love seeing, especially, wait, 3 books, a bunch of anthology stories. Okay, thanks, Chris. I'll be back next week with something. I just haven't decided yet. I only scheduled this far, but I think Comic Slayer is supposed to be on this month, and we're reading a new Tilly Walden book. Oh my gosh, I would love to interview Ezra, but I think I'd probably embarrass myself. I'm really not good with interviews. I think the last 2 went okay, but I think that was a fluke. I've avoided interview for years until this last month.
You should get rid of imposter syndrome and just embrace being a good interviewer. You've made me feel very comfortable, which is an
I'm
important thing to
glad.
do as an interviewer.
I think it's hard for me because it's a lot of masking. So it
Right,
depends on
yeah.
the person I'm talking to. I feel comfortable with you, so I feel like it's okay. So hopefully you feel that way also.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know what you mean, because like I did like a string of like job interviews before I landed one, and those are just the most nightmarish situations for me,
Oh
where you
yeah.
have to like show up and present yourself.
Yeah. And living in
Awful.
Kentucky, I feel like I have to do the southern masking with people. I'm like, oh well, like very accent heavy, like, well,
Really?
bless your heart. That must be so tough being from there. That's crazy. Just
Wow.
very like, but it it slips out. It's just me trying to survive. It's
Okay.
bad.
That's like your tell for when you feel unsafe, you'll
It's
just throw on the
just
accent.
yeah. Um. Oh, thank you. Such an interesting stream. I love getting to know bottom feeders. You guys are great. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
But yeah, chat. Thank you for being here. For catching us later. Let us know what you thought about bottom feeders. If you have any requests for books in the future, let us know. And send all your requests about Junji Ito books to Max to let him know what to read because I will be doing
Right.
that. um, and yeah, so we'll catch you all next time. And thanks for being here, Max.
Thank you for having me.
All right.